It's strange how one night can shift the way you see someone you thought you knew your entire life. The kind of night that starts out ordinary, but ends with a truth so heavy, so raw, it changes the way you look at them forever. That's exactly what happened the weekend my parents went out of town. They left the house to me and my brother, Ryan. At first, I thought it would be like any other time we were left alone, staying up too late, ordering pizza, watching movies we weren't supposed to. We'd always been close, more like friends than siblings. But this time, things felt different, heavier. Ryan had been acting strange all week. Distant. Quiet. Almost like he was carrying a secret too big for him to manage. Normally, he was the easygoing one, the one who made jokes at dinner or teased me until I laughed. But lately, every time I tried to talk to him, I got one-word answers. His eyes darted to his phone constantly, like he was waiting for something or someone. That night, the silence between us wasn't the comfortable kind. It was charged. I tried to brush it off, to focus on the movie playing on the screen, but my mind kept drifting back to him. The way his shoulders seemed tense. The way he avoided my eyes. I asked if he was okay. He smiled, but it wasn't real. It was one of those smiles that never quite reached his eyes. And then, his phone buzzed. He flipped it face down so quickly it made my stomach twist. I didn't want to be suspicious. I told myself it was probably nothing. Maybe school stress, maybe a fight with his girlfriend. But the way he clutched that phone, like it held his whole life in it, made me uneasy. After dinner, he disappeared upstairs without another word, leaving his phone charging on the counter. And that's when it happened. The screen lit up with a preview of a new message. Just one line. But one line was enough to break everything I thought I knew about him. Can't stop thinking about you. My breath caught. The message wasn't from his girlfriend. The number wasn't saved. My heart pounded in my chest as 1,000 questions raced through my mind. Who was this person? How long had this been going on? And why did Ryan look so guilty every time his phone buzzed? I stepped back just as I heard his footsteps. When he came downstairs, his eyes darted to the phone immediately, scanning its position on the counter. His gaze flicked to me for just a second, sharp and searching, like he could tell I'd seen something I shouldn't have. He didn't say a word, just grabbed the phone and left. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the past week. His girlfriend, Emily, had even messaged me a few days earlier asking if he'd been acting weird. I'd brushed it off then. But now I wondered if she already knew, if some part of her had sensed what I had just uncovered. The next morning, I tried to act normal. I made breakfast, sat across from him at the kitchen table, asked if he wanted eggs. He barely looked up. His answers were hollow, like he was speaking just to fill the silence. My chest ached with the weight of what I knew and the guilt of how I knew it. But I couldn't stop myself. Later, when he left his phone out again, temptation won. I knew his passcode. It was a leftover from when we used to share everything, back when there were no secrets between us. My hands trembled as I unlocked it, each tap of the screen louder than my heartbeat. The thread was right there. Dozens, no, hundreds of messages. Months of conversations with someone who wasn't his girlfriend. Intimate words, late-night confessions, pet names I'd never heard before. This wasn't casual. This wasn't new. This was a whole other relationship he had built in the shadows of his real one. I dropped the phone like it burned me. My chest felt tight, my throat raw. I didn't recognize him anymore. The Ryan I knew, my brother who used to tell me everything, was a stranger. That evening, he finally noticed the distance between us. He asked if something was wrong, his voice softer than I expected. That broke me. I blurted it out before I could stop myself. I saw the messages. I know. His face drained of color. For a second, I thought he'd deny it, lash out, accuse me of invading his privacy. But he didn't. He just sat down, put his head in his hands, and whispered, "I didn't mean for it to happen." His honesty made it worse. I asked him how long. He admitted it had been going on for months. He said he felt trapped in his relationship with Emily, like he couldn't breathe anymore, but didn't know how to leave her. So he found escape in someone else. I wanted to scream at him, to shake him. Instead, I just said, "You can't keep lying to her. Or to yourself." He looked at me then, really looked at me, his eyes glassy with unshed tears. "Do you hate me?" he asked. I didn't. But I couldn't understand how he had let it get so far. How he had chosen deception over honesty. 4 days, things stayed tense. He barely spoke. I gave him space, but the weight of his secret pressed on both of us. Finally, one night, he knocked on my door. His voice was barely a whisper when he said he couldn't carry the guilt anymore. He wanted to tell her. But he was terrified. He asked if I would sit with him while he made the call. I did. I sat beside him as he dialed Emily's number, his hands shaking so badly he nearly dropped the phone. When she answered, his voice cracked. He told her everything. No excuses, no softening. Just the truth. There was silence on the other end for so long I thought she'd hung up. Then, finally, she asked, "Why?" His only answer was a broken, "I don't know." When she did hang up, he just sat there staring at the screen, tears sliding down his face. He said he hated himself for hurting her. And I didn't try to comfort him. Not then. Some wounds don't deserve quick bandages. Some lessons have to be learned in the hardest way possible. In the days that followed, the fallout began. Emily blocked him. Their friends found out. Ryan became isolated, drowning in shame. But maybe that was what he needed to face the wreckage he'd created, to decide who he really wanted to be now that the lies were gone. As for me, I wasn't sure I'd ever look at him the same way again. He was still my brother, but after that night, I realized even the people closest to us can be strangers.